Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, 20 people have been taken to hospital after a gas leak at a Tassal facility at Strathblane in the state's south. Carbon monoxide from a forklift operating inside the building has been blamed for the incident.
Fire crews scrambled to the Tassal facility at Strathblane near Dover around 11:30 this morning following reports of a gas leak. Staff were rushed out of the building, some already showing symptoms.
There are a few patients that presented with some respiratory illness, difficulty in breathing and nausea, which is a classic sign of people that have been exposed to that gas.
20 people are in hospital tonight. Health authorities have asked the public to only go to the Royal Hobart Emergency Department if they need urgent care. Arrangements are also underway to have the private hospital treat patients.
Most people were treated by a Tas ambulance as a precautionary measure. It's just to make sure that people don't go downhill.
The cause of the leak is believed to be carbon monoxide, likely from a forklift operating inside the building.
Workplace Safe will work in conjunction with Tas South to determine what the actual cause was, which we're fairly certain it is that forklift.
Health Minister Jeremy Rockliff says the state government will monitor the situation and will offer the company assistance if required. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A 35-year-old man has faced court today after allegedly firing a weapon at a McDonald's worker at Bridgewater. Police were called to the scene just after 1:30 a.m. yesterday. Luckily, the staff member operating the drive-through service window wasn't injured. The man was remanded in custody to reappear in court. Small businesses are holding their breath as they begin to feel the pinch of the border closure with Victoria. The state government is throwing more cash at financial counselling, but big questions remain over the next few weeks.
The lunch rush is on at Fish Frenzy on the Hobart waterfront, but there's little question the closed Victorian border is biting into business.
Probably been about a 30% drop.
With the northern neighbour facing a week-long lockdown, Gary Shepherd is worried the impact could last longer.
It could be more than a week, it could be a month, it could be, and it's that rolling effect that, it's a little bit uncertain as well.
Among his loyal customers today, the volunteer crew of the Rona Tall Ship. They've been dealt with a wave of cancellations.
Today we had 10. So 10 people rang to book, and then sadly those 10 people rang and said, sorry, we can't come anymore. We do have some locals, which is really nice.
The situation is a test for new Small Business Minister Jane Howlett, today re-announcing the state government's plan to spend more than $1 million on financial counselling for the sector.
This is extremely important because we know that small businesses in Tasmania have been hit particularly hard during COVID-19.
Lucy Baker's Moona restaurant has luckily escaped the fallout from this week's border closure, but next month could be a different story if Dark Mofo is impacted.
Dark Mofo brings a huge trade to us. Because Salamanca is so busy and gets so congested, we always find that then a lot of local support come out to us.
Meanwhile, the Minister says the counselling support will also be available for some East Coast businesses, now cut off from the state's south while the Tasman Highway is repaired.
I will go back up to Orford and Tribunna next week and continue talking to the small business community up there, hear their concerns, and then discussions will take place.
And as the dust still settles from the state election, new independent Christy Johnston says she'll work with ministers if they keep her in the loop.
Clearly what we've had over a number of years now is petty party politics, and it served Tasmanians very poorly. We need a better outcome from our parliament, and I think Tasmanians are demanding that.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
An online petition against a wildlife cull at a Tasmanian golf club is gaining traction. More than 1,500 people have signed to say they oppose the cull of rabbits and wallabies at Greens Beach Golf Course. The club refused to comment on the petition today. A Dipipwi spokesperson said that the club has a valid permit to cull wallabies, while a permit is not required for rabbits. The Collinsvale Market has been reborn today after being suspended 2 years ago. With the town store having recently closed, locals are happy to see a sense of community return.
Starting in the 1980s, the Collinsvale Market is one of the oldest in Hobart. So they used to get dressed up in old-fashioned clothing and, you know, create a whole historic or nostalgic atmosphere.
After closing 2 years ago, it's now finally been able to restart. The community is hoping she'll be apples this time around.
So I've got striped Fuji, beer boss pears that are delightful to eat, pink lady, sturma pippins.
They were looking for somewhere to come and see each other, you know.
Happy to have a meeting place once again, still mourning the loss of their general store.
It's like a reunion for everyone who hasn't seen each other, because like some people drifted off.
It's really good, yeah. I like how everyone's all together as a community.
The public voting with their feet for it to stay.
We had like over 1,000 people through in the first hour and a half. So yeah, I couldn't have wished for more.
From bric-a-brac to barbecues, stallholders were happy with the turnout too.
Yeah, we're flat out. We had to go and get some more sausages, so it's really good for the primary school. It's a little fundraiser.
Oh, it's been my hobby for nearly 40 years to do knitting, and attending markets is a wonderful opportunity.
Not just good for communities, these markets helping the many stallholders here make a living. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian yoga studio is in the middle of a 16-hour online yoga festival, supporting an organisation working in India's COVID crisis. Yoga, dance, meditation and cooking classes have all been hosted through Zoom, with the funds going to the Maher organisation.
So they look after people with mental health challenges, or the elderly, or children who don't have any parents.
More than 4,000 tickets were sold, with $16,000 raised. The next generation of elite AFL talent was on show today at Utah Stadium. The best under 16 and 17 footballers from across the state went head-to-head in a match simulation. The last chance to impress before Tassie Devils selection is confirmed.
Terrific hit out for all of them. More than anything, I guess it's about coming into a program that will allow them to, you know, progress into a gateway into the under-19 NAB system.
The final squad for the July's under-19 National Championships is set to be announced in the coming days. Eddie Ockenden's golden run as Australia's men's hockey captain has continued with a 4-2 win over New Zealand this afternoon. Australia dominated the early stages, rushing to an early 2-0 lead. New Zealand, however, scored twice to keep themselves in the game heading into the third period. The Kookaburras sealing the result with 10 minutes to play.
Still there for Australia. Oh, it's gone in. That's superb reactions. Hayward at the top of the circle.
Australia leads the 4-match contest 3-0. The series wraps up on Tuesday. Olympia will face Kingborough Lions in the Women's Statewide Cup final after defeating arch rivals Clarence 1-0 this afternoon. Glenorchy are also through to the Lacca Seljack Cup final. However, they needed extra time to overcome a determined Launceston City.
A cup final date was up for grabs, so there was much to play for in Launceston. Glenorchy dominated large patches of the match, but City defended stoutly. Launceston had a shout for a penalty in the second half, which was turned down. The Knights had one last chance but couldn't convert, sending it to extra time. Glenorchy finally rewarded in the 97th minute. They now have a cup final date with Devonport on the Queen's Birthday Monday. In the Women's Statewide Cup, Kingborough and Launceston United played out a thriller. The Lions breaking the game open just after half-time. Danielle Kanagaiser scoring a double within the space of a minute. United, however, halved the deficit straight from kick-off before levelling around the hour mark. As extra time loomed, both sides needed a hero. Launceston's Jess Robinson answering that call. In the NBL 1, our northern sides had a mixed night against Mount Gambier. The Launceston Tornadoes started slowly, down by 9 points at quarter time. Their fight back beginning in the second term, and by three-quarter time they were in front, with the Asia Chambers leading the way. No Keely Froling, no problems for the Tornadoes, winning 82-79. Northwest, however, were unable to match their female counterparts. The Thunder started well, leading by 5 at the first change. Mount Gambier taking charge after quarter time, helped by 27 points from Thomas Daly.
Three-pointer goes up, good defence. Oh, Tom Daly, if you don't mind.
The Pioneers scoring a crucial win on the road, handing the Thunder their second loss of the season, 104-94. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening everyone. Another cool start for Launceston today with -3, however reaching 13 degrees along with Hobart and Burnie, and Devonport saw a top of 12. Across the state, St Helens and Friendly Beach is both 15, 14 on King Island, Smithton, Low Head and Strawn 13, 11 in Grove and 7 in Lyweenie. A thin layer of low cloud can be seen over southern Tasmania today, with clear skies seen further north. Across Australia, cloud associated with a cold front extends over Western Australia, with wispy high cloud reaching Central Australia. Tomorrow's chart shows the high consolidating over the southeast mainland. The cold front over Western Australia will weaken, as the front seen to the south will advance towards southwest Tasmania. Northwesterly winds tomorrow 5 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 25 knots during the afternoon and evening, and reaching up to 30 knots about the southwest. And there is a strong wind warning current from southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point. A severe frost warning is also current for the central north, Midlands, East Coast and Upper Derwent Valley forecast areas, and a frost warning for the northwest coast forecast district. Mostly sunny and 13 in Hobart and Ouse tomorrow, 14 in Dover. Launceston and Scottsdale expecting early frosts, then reaching 13 degrees, cloudy and 13 in Devonport. Burnie a top of 13 tomorrow, cloud cover and 14 in Strawn and Stanley. St Helens and Swansea both sunny and 15, and partly cloudy and 12 in Ross. On Tuesday, fine apart from showers about the west and far south. Showers about the north, west and far south on Wednesday. And on Thursday, those showers continuing, possibly extending statewide during the afternoon. 18 in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, sunny and 16 in Melbourne. Sydney 19, 22 in Brisbane and partly cloudy and 25 in Alice Springs. And currently Hobart 8 degrees and mostly clear, clear and 5 in Launceston and 6 degrees and clear in Devonport. And Lou, another cool night.
Winter's very, very close. Thanks for that, Chelsea. And that's all your news for now for this Sunday evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a lovely evening. Good night.